So, Jazzy, every interview we do, we always start with a question. If you could sum your wrestling career so far into one word, how would you describe it?
Hmm, confident.
Ooh, okay, elaborate.
Elaborate.
Yep.
It is. Are we talking about like? Sorry, are we talking about like Jazzy, as in like the gimmick, the wrestling character, the
Yep.
the grandest? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, okay. The reason I say confident is because I feel like it's just what Jazzy or me. It's what we embody. You know, we come out, we're like strutting it like we're on a Victoria's Secret runway. We're going down into the ring. We feel like we're the main character. Everyone's got their eyes on Jazzy. Everyone's looking at Jazzy. We're confidence.
It wasn't breezy. I think the last one we did, but the word was surreal. So confident. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I
Surreal. I
think
like surreal. Surreal's cool.
yeah, you got to be confident in these days, aren't you? So that leads me on to my question. So, how much of the Jazzy Kennedy character is the real Jasmine?
Yeah. So I would say take about 80% me, and then just put 20% on top of it. And it seems like it's a lot, but I'm a Leo, and I don't know if you guys know what that means, but like I'm just a confident chick. I was born confident. I've always been like, in the drama clubs at school and dance at school and all that sort of thing. So it's just me turned up to a point that's not socially appropriate.
Fair enough.
Socially appropriate. I love it. Oh dear. So my kind of question follows on from what Reese just said there. What made you obviously want to get into wrestling?
Yeah, so interesting story with that one. I didn't know what wrestling was my whole entire life. If you asked me what it was, I would have had no idea. I couldn't name a single wrestler, nothing. I couldn't even if you asked me, I couldn't even say, oh yeah, that must be WWE or something like that. No idea in the world. And I don't know if that's because we're very sort of sheltered from wrestling in Australia. It's not that big. I remember I met Jesse on a dating app online, and in his dating profile, he had pictures of him in these itty bitty wrestling trunks up on his dating profile. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? And then eventually he took me to one of his first shows, and I found out what wrestling was. I was freaking out the whole time, mind you, because I was like, what is going on? Why are they beating each other up? Like, what is this? But yeah, that's sort of how I was exposed to it. And that was at, 17. So I went for 17 years without even knowing what it was.
Interesting.
Mm.
I like that. So, who's been the biggest influence on your career so far?
Personally, Jesse, I'd say, of course. He's the one who introduced me to it. The one who encouraged me to sort of step into the ring, step out of just, being in the crowd and that sort of thing. So I think he's definitely been the biggest influence and continues to be to this day.
I like that.
Okay. Absolutely.
Mm.
We obviously spoke to Jess and he said that you get the loudest reactions. What's that like for you listening to that?
I love it. It's so great. Um, And I feel like it's so cool because I can do the absolute like minimum, and I get a big pop. And sometimes it is bigger than what the guys in the matches are doing. You know what I mean? So it's really cool. And I think that's why I'm so in love with it, is because I do get such a good reaction. So it just feels like it's so effortless.
Yeah. So, did you approve of Jesse's theme song? Is that one of your favorite songs?
He's had that theme song since bloody the dinosaur ages, I swear. He's always come out to Pony. And I think it's because it does really match his character. Like, it's that typical, I guess, ladies man. It's giving sort of like Magic Mike kind of vibes. Um, But yeah, I remember when I was starting to come out for matches, I did like the remix version, like the Toxic Pony, to sort of like bounce off that. Because like if you're out anywhere and like Pony plays, Jesse's like the first person that people look at.
I wonder why.
No, I wouldn't know.
That was
Wow.
brilliant. Oh dear. What's it like preparing for a match? Obviously, you're there when you go out with him. What's it like behind the scenes?
I actually do a few vlogs of it. It's cool. I've always found any sort of performance, it's quite anxiety inducing. Like you start to get the butterflies in your stomach and you're nervous, even if you're not doing much for the match, which a lot of the time I'm only doing like little spots. But I find it really cool because quite often I will sit with the boys and I'll listen to them and I'll watch them and sort of take in what they're saying. And occasionally, even, I can throw in ideas for them that they haven't already thought of and that sort of thing. It's pretty cool before a match. Stressful but cool. And Jesse's always like he's got this little ritual where he sort of just he'll pace around. So it's quite fun to watch.
So you mentioned there obviously your vlogs. You've got a YouTube channel which you are very active on and started to get like a few hundred views and stuff like that. We short views, in my opinion, not views. Short videos are the best. It's eye catching, and that's what you do. Is that something that you want to continue to do more, whether that's with wrestling, day to day life, or movie reviews, or whatever?
I was always too scared to do it. It's always something I wanted to do, but I was always, scared of like, oh, what if it's crap? What if I do a crap job and people are like, what's this sort of thing? But then once I did one with some encouragement from Jesse, I realized like, oh, this is actually really cool. So yeah, it's definitely something I want to continue to do. I'm trying to, every time I go for a show, I'm trying to vlog as much as I can to get as much content as possible. And sit and make videos. It might take me a few weeks to actually bring out the videos because I'm sure you guys would probably know editing videos can be such a nuisance. But yeah, it's something I definitely want to do. Recently we actually got invited. We went and did like a movie premiere, and so like I
Yeah,
made a
so
video for that, and that one did pretty well as well. So I'd like to sort of branch a little bit more into it. It's a fun hobby to have, I think.
just a quick follow up from on that. Do you know what I think you should do? Do a Toy Story 5 review.
Toy Story 5. I don't know if people would like my opinion on it too much.
Gotta give it.
Why am I curious to know what her opinion is on it now?
I was a little disappointed in it just because I feel like they took away the power from your original main leads and sort of like made them a little bit too soft, if that makes sense. Have you
Yeah,
guys seen that?
I want to, but no one will go with me.
Oh, just go by yourself. It's okay.
Oh yeah, big kid in the 26-year-old sitting in Toy Story 5. Great.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we're 8 minutes in and we're talking about Toy Story 5. What's
I
this one
know we're
called?
doing such a great job. It's like so on
Love it.
topic.
Love it.
Dear. So, one thing we ask a lot of wrestlers, Jazzy, is how do you juggle obviously personal life and wrestling life? Because I imagine that's not easy.
Yeah, it's hard because obviously when you're a wrestler, unless you're like signed to a big company, you're not just wrestling. You're trying to like balance normal life with it. So I'm a registered nurse. So I work, all week doing nursing. And then it gets to a Friday night. We've got to do our tans and that sort of thing. And then, or on to Saturday and we're off wrestling doing shows and sometimes, flying interstate and that sort of thing. So it is hard to juggle. And then if you try to chuck, actual training and stuff into that whole mix, it is a little bit tough. It is a lot, but I think I've said before, like it's a lifestyle choice. It's not just a hobby sort of thing. So you have to make if you want to do it, you kind of have to make wrestling a lifestyle.
You mentioned there you've got to, on a Friday night, do your tans. You live in a country where it's 9 months of the year, especially on the Gold Coast, Jazzy, so I don't think you need to be lying there about getting a tan.
I'm so pasty most of the time, trust me. You think Australians all have good tans. I promise you we do not.
But you're always at the beach, so don't lie.
No, it's to the point where Jesse and I don't even just do one coat. We do like 2 coats.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. We go dark. You gotta think though, in a wrestling ring, 9 times out of 10, you've got this dreadful white lighting that comes down over you, and it makes you look 10 times whiter than you actually are. And with that, it brings out like every possible sort of insecurity you could ever imagine. That's not even there. So if you put a bit of tan on it, it's fine. I think my friend once said to me, if you can't tone it, tan it. So
Fair
we're
enough.
going with that.
Fair enough. If you, yeah, Toy Story and tanning. Wow, great. So if you want one thing, let me get my words out. If you want one thing that fans will remember about Jazzy Kennedy, what would you want them to remember? If I got that word right.
That's a really good question. One thing to remember. I would probably actually want them to remember whatever engagement I had with them, because I feel like I'm always trying to, although I'm concentrating on the match and I'm concentrating on what Jesse's doing and my spots and that, I always try to interact with the crowd, whether that's, if a kid is calling out and saying Jesse sucks, if it's me turning and looking at the kid and like death staring at them and going, no, 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 or like little things like that. I want them to remember that I interacted with them and they felt like they were then part of the show as well.
I like that.
Absolutely. I've got a follow-up question to that. Is there any like memorable like fan interactions which like stick with yourself?
It always melts my heart with the kids, when they come up after the show and you feel like a real life superstar. I know, I still remember it to this day, the first ever sort of autograph I signed for a kid that came up to me in the car park after the show and, asked if I could sign it for them. And Jesse actually filmed it. I'm leaning on the bonnet of the car, writing a message to this kid, my first ever one. And yeah, I feel like that's definitely something I sort of remember the most, because that's what makes it, that's what really makes wrestling and going out there and doing all of it. It's for those reactions that you're getting, and you're inspiring these kids. You're like they're real life sort of superheroes.
That's very true. So what's been the toughest part of training for you? Any setbacks that you've had, injuries or?
I think more so the toughest part for me was actually getting into it and understanding it, because I didn't have a wrestling background, obviously. So I didn't know when they would talk about moves, I didn't know, or if they were to say, we're going to try this today, I couldn't picture it in my head, what they were talking about. So that did make it hard. And then just understanding with that, like training up to understand, the match sort of psychology and, storytelling and that sort of thing. I did very much struggle with that. And then besides that, it's just been actually fitting training into life schedule, because none of the training around us is actually close. I think the closest ones that we can get to about an hour away. And Gold Coast, Australia, I don't know if you guys have been here, but traffic, oh, it is horrendous.
Hopefully, maybe soon. Hopefully.
Try and get for a holiday. Get some sunshine.
Yeah. Maybe get a top up on my tan.
Yes. Or sunburn.
Yeah. I made that mistake last year. I went to Sydney last year, burned like a lobster.
Really, in Sydney? Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was breezy, like in the sky, and there was just no sun. But the UV, I was like, wow. I didn't put
Oh,
I didn't put sun cream on either. I regretted it.
oh my goodness.
And then doing the
Yeah.
Coogee walk, being burnt. Yeah,
Oh,
not good.
oh my
But
God.
for you, what is the most rewarding thing about being a professional wrestler apart from the fan interactions?
I think just being able to do it with Jesse, because it is not a lot of the time, partners and stuff, they will have similar interests and stuff, but it's very rare for people to actually be able to share a hobby like what we do. Being able to get ready every weekend together, to travel together, to plan our weeks around it together, and just sort of have that support. I think that's been what's been the most rewarding thing.
I like that.
So tell us about obviously the first time you stepped into the ring as a wrestler. What was that experience like?
So this might reflect on how much I don't know about wrestling. Jesse wanted me to come out for one of his entrances just as sort of like a ballet. He was a pretty girl on his hip or whatever. I came out in high heels, went down to the wrestling ring, got into the ring in high heels, and thought this was a great idea. It's lucky I didn't fall over, mind you. Yeah, I was in jeans, I was in a crop top, and I was in high heels. And I sort of just made entrance down. I think when I was walking down, you know how you've got like the squishy mats
Mm-hmm.
next to
Yeah,
the ring. I'm
you
pretty
came
sure
back.
I left a hole in one of them from my heels.
Well,
But I remember just like pretty much instantly from that moment going, okay, this is cool. Like I could do this. This is fun. And then I did. Every show after that, I came out with him. It was just glued to his hip. And the fans seemed to have like a good reaction straight away. Like they didn't know who I was, but they liked me for some reason or another. And I think most of the time, Jesse's been a heel. So it's a real mix of emotions for them because they'll like me, they'll hate him. So they don't know how to react to us when we come out, sort of thing. They're like,
yeah.
ah.
So we asked Jesse this, and we're going to ask you: how do you define success?
That's a very good question. I remember when you asked Jesse, I thought, oh, that's a hard question. So I was pre-prepared. I did think about this, and I do feel like success, if you think of it as a destination, people might think success is being signed, success is having your own home, having a big family. It depends, everyone's got different ideas of what it is. I think that for me, I sort of look at success as your journey, and if you're actually happy, because it doesn't mean anything if you're happy. You could get to the biggest stages in the world, you could get the biggest house, the biggest car, but if you weren't happy doing it, you're not going to be happy when you get there. So I think success is just your happiness overall. Fill your cup, and that's success.
I like that. And you'll probably use this for your Instagram. I love it.
Hey, probably.
No, I
Love
love
it.
it. Absolutely love it. So one of the other questions we ask a lot of people is obviously about evolving. How would you say you've evolved as a wrestler and as a person over the years?
Well, I've pretty much changed from coming out in high heels and putting holes in the mat to actually coming out and looking like a real wrestler. I feel like I've evolved as a wrestler in the fact that I understand it. I understand the match psychology. I understand, the interactions with the crowd, the story building of matches and getting from, point A to point B in a match. I feel like that's all developed for me, not so much through training, but just being involved and constantly just being there. I've had a few of my own matches and they were super duper fun. But I found for me personally, just doing the ringside stuff and being the one who's interacting with the crowd and building them up, it's my sweet spot. It's what I sort of enjoy doing the most. So I think just discovering where I fit in wrestling is definitely something that's evolved. Because when I first started, I didn't know where I fit in. I didn't know what I was doing. I struggled to relate to absolutely any of the wrestlers, backstage, because I was very different to everyone. I still am very different to everyone in there. So I think finding my place, it's how that's what I've sort of evolved in.
Okay, I like that one. So, one thing that doesn't get talked about in professional wrestling, in my opinion, quite a lot is burnout and mental health. So, like with you being a registered nurse, like you've said, obviously not getting much weekends time to yourself, apart from doing your little tanning sessions with Jesse. Like, what do you? How do you and Jesse cope with like burnout or like just being drained? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying mental health, but like, how do you? Yeah, if you do you get what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it is difficult, because it is a lot. And sometimes, there has been months where we've got a show on every single weekend, and it's a lot. I think sometimes it does get to be a bit much, and you think to yourself, oh, I wish I didn't have to, go to work this week or go wrestle this week. I wish I could just have a weekend off and sit on the couch and watch some movies and that sort of thing. But the way that I find we get through is no matter the lows that you go through, there's always a show that is amazing and just reignites your passion and makes you go, yeah, this is why I do it. I think the moment you get out there and you get out into the ring, and into the crowd, it reminds you of why you're doing it. The preparation is a pain, the travel is a pain for sure, but it is worth it. And every
Yeah.
now and then, there'll be some big opportunity that comes up and it just absolutely reignites everything, for you again.
I think one good
Hi.
thing as well is that you've got Jesse and he's got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a follow-up question to that. Do you think that's something fans will never understand? Is obviously the travel, how much it obviously takes, obviously, in you mentally and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Because they're not thinking about that sort of thing. And it's not, their job to think about that sort of thing. They're coming to you, they're, looking for a show, they're looking for a story, they're wanting to see their favorite wrestler. And a lot of the time, I think it's easy to forget that the wrestler is also, doing other things. They're not just a wrestler.
Yeah.
But it's not, I also think it's not the fans' job to sort of think about that sort of thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Very true. So, Jesse Love, Jazzy Kennedy, where can you see yourself and Jesse in 5 years' time from now? July 4th, 2026, July 4th, 2030. 1, 2, 1. Yeah.
Well, there's two possible answers here, and this one is up to fate. Either things will maybe kick off for us a little bit. Who knows? We might something might happen and we could end up, over in the States or something doing something. That would be the dream. Or option two is we'd probably have some kids by then, I reckon. Settle down. We get married this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
congrats.
you. So I think in the next few years, kids are something that are definitely on the table, but it's all depending on where, wrestling goes for us and if that's something that'll fit into the schedule.
Awesome. I've just got a really follow-up question on that one. You're getting married. What is your wedding dance song? Is it Pony?
Oh, no, funny enough, we both said that we want to keep the wedding as unwrestling related as possible. Because even my family said, oh, you should get like a 3D print of you like punching him in the face or something like that in your wrestling gear to put on top of the cake. I was like, oh my God.
That'd be cool, that.
It would be cool.
Wow. Is Jesse
Well-
gonna have the OPW heavyweight title in the corner?
Yes, you
Oh
will.
my God. I mean, I don't doubt that he would probably somehow use the day to get a promo, because you could get a seriously good promo while you're all done up in your wedding suit and stuff. But no,
If he does that now, then that's gonna be amazing.
it will be. I think I've probably given him the idea now, actually. He'll probably do it in his tuxedo with his belt.
Yeah. He's gonna make a little tuxedo. Do you know, like little clips, like getting ready, the OPW thingy in the corner, polishing it, glass of prosecco. Then he's doing it. He loves his hair, doesn't he? He loves his hair.
He does love his hair. How did you guys know he loves his hair?
Well,
We could tell.
we
You
can
could
tell. Mentioned it in the last video as well. He loved it. He went.
He does have very good hair, I will say.
Yeah. It's like every time he's in a match as well. Yeah, every time he's in a match as well, he's like playing with it.
It's in his hair. I know.
Yeah.
We need to get, like glue to his head. He's growing out like the latest trend in Australia has been mullets. And at the moment the back is starting to get very long.
Oh,
It's starting to look like a very Aussie mullet.
Jesse, come on. You can't have it. Wow.
It doesn't fit the gimmick at all, but
No.
He may as well just join the dropouts.
he might as well.
Yeah.
He might as well.
Imagine.
I don't even know what's happening anymore.
I don't know how he'd fit into the equation, but he would look pretty funny doing that, I must say.
Do you prefer Jesse with a beard or without?
No. If you ask me, I would say without. If you ask me
Without?
now, I'd say with.
It's because you got used to it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So you
Awesome.
mentioned gimmick. Sorry, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Mullets, whatever.
Off on tangents, aren't we?
Best way to
Yeah,
be.
absolutely. There you go. So you mentioned gimmicks and stuff like that. Now, there's a lot of people who's going to watch this who's not familiar with Jazzy Kennedy and Jesse Love. How would you describe the gimmick for people who's not familiar with yourself?
Modern day Randy Savage.
Maybe. I think if I was to put it plainly, you've got Jesse, who's a ladies' man, and you've got Jazzy, who's, I would say, probably like the ditzy blonde bimbo on his hip. To be honest, it's terrible. But if you looked at us, this is what you would think. But I feel like you've got Jesse. He's a ladies' man. He's charismatic. A bit cheeky. And then Jazzy is like his cheerleader in a sense. She's out with him. She's always swooning over him, and over herself as well. And, just cheering and encouraging and occasionally cheating to, make sure that he is getting the win. Just, yeah, ultimate cheerleader vibes, I think it gives. I like to think, and some people don't like this, but I like to think of old school wrestling women. When they come out with the guys for their matches and they're walking out in front and they're the main center of attention, they're good looking women and they're there, to accessorize and that sort of thing. I really like to, I guess, reflect on that and see what they were doing because they did so well, and they've obviously amazing wrestlers now, but just watching their character work and watching how the crowd was absolutely obsessed with them because they were just there, sort of thing.
Yeah,
That's very much Jazzy.
I love that. So I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost 9 out of 10% sure that Harley Cameron is from the Gold Coast. So what is that like for someone like that of a stature to be from the Gold Coast, like where she is now? Is that something where you and Jesse want to be?
Yeah, definitely. That's like the ultimate goal. She is from the Goldie. All right, we met her when we went and did extra work AEW 2 years ago, which was really cool. It was cool to see in person, and I think it made us sort of reflect and realize that it is something that is attainable. So it's cool. It's always cool to see, Australians doing well on the scene. It reminds you that there is some eyes on us.
Definitely. And the future's bright for both of you.
Hopefully, yeah.
100%,
Definitely.
100%. So, one breezy, shall we explain the game? Do you think Jazz would be able to do this?
Well, I think we're going to be doing both of them. We're going to make a little return on the other one.
Okay, go ahead. Fire away.
So, Jazzy, A or B questions. So if I said to you, Jesse Love with a beard or without, I know you've already said it, but what would it be?
With a beard.
Okay.
Okay. Are you a night in person or a night out person?
Night in.
Okay. Gold Coast or Sydney?
Gold Coast.
Okay.
Okay. Heel or face, but I know the answer on this one.
Sorry.
Heel or face? Sorry, let me repeat.
Oh, heel or face. Oh. Oh. That's really difficult. At the moment, heel.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Come on.
Come on.
Are you a messy person or an organized person?
I'm so messy. Opposite to Jesse.
Wow. Are you a text or a call person?
Text, definitely.
No more from me.
So the final one that probably most people would want to know is AEW or WWE?
WWE.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Surprising. Okay. So the next game, Liam, you can...
Yeah. Okay. So what we've got here, we've got a list of categories, and I want you to think of the first wrestler that comes to your mind with this category. The only rule is no repeats. Does that make sense?
Oh my god, I'm gonna be terrible at this.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a go. Don't worry about it. So strength.
Jesse.
Hey, he read my mind. Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
Speed. Who's very
Jesse.
speedy? Jesse. Wow. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say charisma, but you can't say Jesse now.
Can I just say him for everything?
Shall we allow it?
Yeah. Okay. Who's got the best? Who's underrated?
Jesse.
Oh dear. Who's got the best entrance?
Jesse.
Me.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh dear. Next one, John.
I'm lost for words. Like,
This didn't go the way you thought it was going to go, did you?
It didn't, Jasmine.
It's interesting you asked me these questions because I do not watch wrestling.
You didn't.
Occasionally, if something will come up on my feed, yeah, but I still don't watch it to this day.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's just skip to the final one. Who would you recommend the fans watch in professional wrestling from Australia right now? Who's someone that people should keep their eyes on from the Gold Coast or Sydney, Melbourne, wherever? Who do you think?
Mm.
Yes, I will.
Obviously Jesse. But really, I think there's so many. It's so hard to choose from. There's so much good talent here. I think at the moment Mitch Ryder is someone that I
Mhm.
would really keep an eye on. He's an amazing wrestler and all out is an amazing guy as well. Female wise, I think Eugenie does a really good job. She's a good wrestler. She's a very strong character presence. Zeke Andino, he's always out trying to progress himself, doing training camps overseas, and he's a really good wrestler as well. And then of course the dropouts, because they're doing so well at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the thing is, I try and work out how long their entrance is. Like 8-10 minutes long.
Long entrances, hey.
Definitely.
I've got nothing further. One reason.
So the final few questions, Jazzy. So, is it important to you to win a women's championship at all, or a championship? Is that on the radar for you? Would you love that?
It would be cool. I think more so for like the photo op, because
That's
you
so
get
cool.
so many cool photos with a belt. And like, can you imagine Jazzy doing promos? Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It would be great. So I guess because I try to feed into my social media a lot, and that sort of has been my focus for a little bit now. So I think from that standpoint, it would be really cool. It would be a privilege. And if one day it did so happen to fall into my lap, that would be great. But also it's not the be all end all. It's not like my ultimate goal or anything like that.
Yeah. Would you say it's very important for people to treat their Instagram as a CV?
Ah,
Ooh,
yes. Yeah,
what a
definitely.
question.
Yeah. I think that's what I think is making a lot of people stand out, because how else are they going to see you, sort of thing, especially when we're all the way in Australia. Like you look at the dropouts, for example, their videos were popping off, doing their da 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 da, and they were seen, and they got invited to do a tryout and that sort of thing. So I think it's so important, because that's 9 times out of 10, that's the first thing that people are seeing when they come across you, is your social media. So it is.
Yeah.
It's like a CV.
I like that.
Great question. So, a few more questions obviously begin to wind down. We like to obviously end on a positive note. What would be an inspirational message from Jazzy Kennedy?
Inspirational message from Jazzy. Okay. I would say just to worry less on what other people think and just do what you want. At the end of the day, it might seem like everyone is looking at you, everyone is going to judge you, and that sort of thing. People don't care. People don't actually care what you're doing. They're not looking at you, they're not judging you. And even if they are, it's probably a reflection on themselves. So just do it. Do what makes you happy. Do what's going to fill your cup. And don't worry about what everyone else is thinking.
I love that. It's all about being positive on this show, channel, whatever you want to call it. So I've really enjoyed this one, talking about Toy Story, you and Jesse tanning, everything else in between, wrestling, traveling, yeah, everything.
Tangents. Yes.
Yeah, tantrums. But where can people find you? And then after that, you are going to say whatever you want, and then we are going to end the stream. But on behalf of me and Liam, thank you for coming on. We've had you and Jesse on now. Hopefully, one day later in the year, when we can get you both on.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be interesting. We'd probably go off on tangents again, but
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I totally zoned and forgot the first question.
Socials.
Yeah.
Yes. It's pretty uniform across everything. You can just find me at Jazzy_Kennedy. And this is the magic of wrestling, and you're listening to Jazzy Kennedy. Thanks for staying along for the ride, and I'll see you guys next time.